While the government's decision to seek to ban sexual harassment in the workplace has been welcomed, employer groups want the Fair Work Commission and industrial commissions to be given more power to make sure those found to have committed offences cannot come back into the same workplaces. Business Editor Ross Greenwood joins me now. Ross, good morning. A part of this is the onus on employers to make sure that their workplace is, of course, safe. But even the Sex Discrimination Commissioner who compiled this report is worried that it hasn't gone far enough.
Yeah, that's right. And the issue here is I think this is about a safe workplace for any person working in that workplace. And so what it really hasn't gone to is a few issues. Number one, there needs to be the cooperation of the states to make certain, say, for example, it's state workers and the judiciary that are controlled by states are also covered by this, just as federal politicians, federal judges would be covered. But then there's other issues about whether the Fair Work Commission has the power and the strength to put a person out of the workplace for good if they're found to have committed, significant sexual harassment. And that's a good thing. That's something that everybody would applaud. But then what happens when that person turns up in another workplace or another workplace into the future? Does that person then be excluded from work forever as a result of something that they've done at a previous workplace? So these are little things in this that are not worked out that are going to be very difficult. There's another point also, and that is that right now with the Fair Work Commission, what you tend to find is you'll get, say, for example, people will go to the Fair Work Commission claiming unfair dismissal. In many cases, employers literally pay them off rather than going through the process. And they're always concerned the Fair Commission will land on the employee's side all the time. So literally they make the problem go away. In the case of sexual harassment, it won't be that easy for employers. And they're going to have proper processes and structures from the very smallest business to the very largest business in Australia. And this is where really the detail of what the government announced has really not been properly fleshed out in some ways, so that businesses are very certain as to where they stand if they try to dismiss somebody who they have discovered has been harassing somebody else in the workplace.
Yeah, there's certainly a number of legalities to work out from that. Let's move on now to vaccines, of course. There is now a delay in the rollout in Australia. It has big implications for businesses, but especially international travel, Ross.
Well, number one is remember that the Prime Minister and also the boss of Qantas, Alan Joyce, have both nominated the end of October for the borders to be open for international travel. Clearly, that is not going to happen. A little bit of maths for you. There's 25 million people in Australia. The AstraZeneca vaccine is now not seen to be safe for people under the age of 50. It's preferred that they should get the Pfizer shots. Australia ordered 20 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine. There are 16.5 million people in Australia under the age of 50. So it doesn't work. And given the fact you've got to have 2 doses, it only covers 10 million. And many of those doses have already been used in people over the age of 50 and for essential workers. So the one thing that Australia has got right now is a massive slowdown because we simply don't have enough of that Pfizer vaccine, and the demand around the world is greater than perhaps Australia's need right now.
A fascinating development, and I'm sure we'll have all the reaction today as well. Now, Ross, how will the market start the day?
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch this because yesterday the market did something, it went beyond 7,000, the S&P ASX 200. It then just came back just at the end before that. The markets are expected to be a little stronger today. This is a real key point for the markets right now. As a result, it looks like the US markets have been stronger. It probably will pick up. But remember now, this market is only literally 1% or 2% off its all-time highs, which is phenomenal given what the Australian economy has been through over the past 12 months.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch. All right, Ross Greenwood, we have to leave it there. We can catch you on Business Weekend, Sundays 11 a.m.
No problems at all. Got to go.